High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Overtime. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm David Greenberg. We're glad you've made the choice to huddle with us tonight for Week 5 coverage of the high school football season.
We've got some great action to cover over this next half hour, including DuPac trying to take down the #1 ranked team in the state in Class 2A, and Byron trying to fight off another big Northern challenger in North Boone.
Tim Bailey is here to discuss tonight's key Nick 10 games. I'll also have a feature story on Freeport-Akron's Ali Arndt, a young man who not only knows football, he also knows cross country and happens to do both at the same time. Let's kick things off with our overtime game of the week, a Nick 10 battle that's a must-see game every year.
That's because this game often has a lot to do with the final determination of the Nick 10 championship. We're talking about the Hananiga Indians against the Boylan Titans. Third quarter here, Bryce Goodwine kicks his second field goal of the game. Those in a Stuart Hale punt return had Hananiga up 13-7. Under 8 minutes to go, Isaac Wizenand on offense loses the handle on the football in the rain. Jack Colonel comes up with it for the Titans, and you could sense maybe some Boylan magic about to happen in this fourth quarter. A couple plays later, the Titans hand the ball off to Makai Glover. He breaks a tackle right there, and he is going to fight to just get into the end zone. He came up a bit gimpy, but I don't think he cared. The game was tied at 13. Bella Sparrow now for the extra point in the lead. She got it, 14-13 Boylan. Now Boylan going back on offense, trying to put this game away. Under 2 minutes to go, back by their own end zone, but the Titans could not get the first down. They punted the ball away. Hananiga would take over with 1:35 to go, and all they wanted was a shot at a field goal. They run it up the middle, keep it in the middle of the field. Now 5 seconds to go. Here comes Bryce Goodwine again. He was iced by 2 Boylan timeouts. He's going to set up for a 36-yard attempt to win this game, folks. Great snap, great handle, great kick in the rainy weather. Bryce Goodwine delivers the game winner. Hananiga escapes with the victory, 16-14. If somebody would have said to you before the game, it's going to come down to a Bryce Goodwine field goal attempt with a second on the clock, what would you have thought, huh?
Honestly, I might not have been too surprised because it's Boylan, it's always going to be a close game. But I'm glad I got to end it. I've always liked to be in a position to help our team out, so I'm glad I got to.
So they froze you with a couple timeouts. You still calmly stepped up there. Tell me what you were thinking during those minutes, those couple minutes there while you were waiting to kick it.
Well, I knew they had 2 timeouts, so, I didn't even go up there thinking I was going to kick it when I went up there the first 2 times. So I was just waiting for him to call a timeout, and then after they used their last one, settled in and got ready to make a field goal.
And we participated in a lot of good games, but this one, I never lost faith in what we were going to do at the end of the game. I didn't think it would come down to a field goal. That's a very good Boylan team that played very hard tonight, and certainly, we didn't put any offensive points on the board. They're pretty good.
Is there anybody you'd rather have kicking in that situation than Bryce Goodwine?
Quite honestly, Drake's pretty good. He's the holder, and he's a pretty good kicker too. But I love Bryce, and he's fantastic.
All right, Tim Bailey joins us now, our Nick 10 analyst. Tim, for 3 quarters, that was kind of a so-so game, but that fourth quarter was something to behold from both sides. It went to Boylan's way, it went to Hananiga's way. I'm kind of left speechless still by it all. What are your thoughts on that fourth quarter? How would you sum it up?
That fourth quarter was phenomenal because both teams in the first half, it was pretty much even in the first half. And then coming that fourth quarter, I've always said this, big-time players step up in big-time games. And I think we saw that tonight with Glover. He stepped up big for the Titans.
Bryce Goodwine has had many moments throughout his varsity career making big plays. This is just another one of those legacy plays for him. Kicking that game when you feel ice in his veins. They iced him twice, but ice in his veins.
Yeah. Tip my hats off to Hananiga on an impressive victory. But as it relates to Bryce Goodwine, this kid's an athlete. He obviously, you see it tonight. He does it all. He kicks field goals. He catches passes out of the backfield. He runs the ball out of the backfield. He plays safety on defense. This kid never takes a break. It just shows you how well-conditioned this kid is. And I'm happy for him as well. What an athlete.
When Boylan took the lead after the Hananiga fumble, Glover scores the touchdown. A lot of opposing teams might have gone flat and maybe given up a little bit, but you got to credit this Hananiga team. There was absolutely no quit in them. They kept believing that they were going to somehow get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have those playmakers on offense as they do in Hale, Wisenhan, and then you have the young man. Yeah, you have him at receiver. So, with that being said, when you have those types of playmakers like that at those positions, and you have a really good offensive line, and if you go back and you watch the game tonight, I mean, Hananiga's offensive line did a phenomenal job. So I don't think there was any doubt that Hananiga had that they could move the ball and get in good position to kick a field goal. So. Tip my hats off again to Hananiga.
You got to take into account tonight the weather, obviously playing a big factor. Kind of makes you a little more one-dimensional than you would like, having to run the ball, because throwing with a wet football like that makes it nearly impossible.
Yeah, the elements were rough for both quarterbacks tonight. You didn't see any big plays in the air. Hananiga took advantage of some of the intermediate routes, some hitches out to Goodwine. A lot of the short stuff, due to the elements. So, the passing game was actually hindered on both sides of the ball tonight.
We see how important it is in this game alone, how important it is to have a kicker if you want to win. Because we saw Boylan's kicker, Bellaspera, make the extra point that gave them the lead, which could have been the game-winning kick. And then Bryce comes back with a field goal. Unfortunately, there are teams in this conference that struggle to find kickers, but this game alone is Exhibit A. It's important to have a kicker.
Yeah, it's important. And you saw tonight. I mean, there's three facets of the game of football. It's your defense, offense, and your special teams, and it showed tonight. Special teams actually led Hananiga to this victory because, again, if you go back to before the second half, going into the second half, Hale scored on the 60-yard punt return, and then the game was ended with a field goal. So yeah, special teams is important for sure.
Tim, we're going to keep you here to discuss this next game that we're going to show from the Nick 10, which was also a big one. In fact, it was a rematch of the Nick 10 championship game that we saw in the spring in April. The East E-Rabs against the Harlem Huskies. There come the E-Rabs. Here come the Huskies. Love those entrances. Late in the first quarter, Adrian Palos here on the cutback for Harlem, and he's going to waltz into the end zone there. 6-0 Harlem. That was the score at halftime as well. Second quarter, Harlem at its own 2. Joseph Holloway of East swallows up the running back, nearly a safety. The ball was marked inside the 1. East run game not working so well, although DeTerrace Dotson really fought for some yards here on this play for the E-Rabs. Let's ISO on Palos at linebacker. Look at the speed now as he gets to the edge here, and yeah, he's going to make the tackle. That's why he's led the conference in tackles for 2 years. Palos again at linebacker. Here he comes up the middle this time to stuff out the run there. Harlem gets the shutout with that kind of defense, beating East by the score of 20-0. Tim, very low-scoring game. Is that surprise you at all with these two teams?
I'm surprised Harlem wasn't able to put up, a few more points. East does have a phenomenal defense, but, with the firepower that Harlem has on offense, I'm really surprised that they only scored 20 points tonight. So, that's a testament to East defense. East has a really good defense. Obviously, you see the score tonight. They just couldn't get the offense going. So.
Testament to East defense, also testament to Harlem's defense. It feels like ever since that Hananiga game, they have really stepped up and just locked teams down.
Yeah, they have. Hananiga's one of those teams that, you just got to buckle your chin strap up every week and be ready to play. They got a big test, next week playing Boylan, and, that's not going to be a cakewalk, but I think, both teams will be ready for the challenge.
And Boylan's going to be fired up after a loss like tonight.
Yeah, they should be, definitely.
Boylan Harlem next week, Hananiga Belvedere North next week.
Got some good football.
Oh, boy. That's going to be fun, too.
Let the fireworks begin.
Tim, thanks again.
Thanks,
we'll
guys,
talk
for
to you
having
next
me.
week as well. We have more Nick 10 action straight ahead.
Could the Belvedere North Blue Thunder stay undefeated? Our look at their game against Auburn is just a couple of minutes away. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Overtime.
Belvedere North has been enjoying the view from on top of the Nick 10 along with Hananiga through the first 4 weeks of the season. The Blue Thunder have big games coming up the next 2 weeks against Hananiga and against Harlem.
The Blue Thunder are very solid in all 3 phases of football to set up those showdowns the next couple of weeks. They needed to notch another win tonight. Tonight they played at Auburn. First possession for Belvedere North. Mason Weckler going to take the snap and, rainy conditions. The ball's fumbled, loose on the ground, and Elijah Hubbard recovers for the Knights. Auburn ball now. O'Shavian Dismute takes the snap, rolls left, looks downfield and finds his receiver wide open. That's 6. That puts the Knights up. Blue Thunder looking for a spark on offense. Nico Bertolino provide one as he breaks outside and picks up some nice yardage. Belvedere North now marching. Mason Weckler on the option, pitches to Bertolino again, and Kyan Muhammad having none of it, sniffs it out perfectly. Auburn back on defense in their own territory. Dismute rolling right, finds nothing, going back. He looks, fires downfield, and finds his man Leonard Spates, who picks up some much-needed yards, and North goes on to win this one 24-14.
Well, the Freeport Pretzels lost the last 2 weeks, but they still have playoff hopes. They took on Guilford. Vikings' first drive of the game, Jordan Woods with a carry, picking up big yardage here. He's going to take a little pop right there at the end, though. Later on in the drive, Javon Jones here. He's had some big games recently. He breaks through for the touchdown. 7-0 Vikings. Freeport's offense took a while to get going. Xavier Segner, though, will find Darius Jackson zipping it in there for the first down. But that offense fizzled out, so it goes back to Guilford. Braxton Castle knocks it free from Bryce Walker's hands. Freeport comes up with the football. Guilford's defense, though, came to play, too. They hold Segner out of the end zone here, just shy of the goal line. Nothing but zeros in the first half. Guilford went on to win this game 14-0.
Let's go to Belvedere, where either the Bucks or Jayhawks would get the first win of the season. Jefferson's ball, Randy Johnson on the sweep to the right, picks up a big chunk of change here. Now it's going to be Belvedere's ball. Justin Dennis on the option, flips it. Whoop, just a bit too far for his receiver, Chris Booz, but he's able to fall on top of it. Wouldn't really hamper them too much, though, as Michael Loading finds a hole up the middle, and down he goes. Here's Dennis again, making up for the bad decision from earlier, finding Jason Dean wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. How about that grab there? That would help them go on to secure their first win of the season, beating Jefferson 14-6.
So after tonight's action, the updated Nick 10 standings look like this. Belvedere North and Hananiga are both 5-0. Again, they meet next week. Harlem is 4-1. Boylan is 3-2. Coming up in a bit, we're going to meet an Akron football player who's doing double duty. He's also leading the school's cross-country team.
And we'll have highlights of that big showdown with two state-ranked teams in Pecatonica. But up next, big Northern action. The North Boone Vikings trying to spoil Byron's perfect start to the season.
The North Boone Vikings have some of the best offensive weapons in the Big Northern Conference, and the Byron Tigers might have the best defense in the conference.
So it was a tantalizing matchup tonight in Byron when the two teams went head-to-head. Rain, and some more rain, the storyline for the evening. Good thing for the Byron Tigers, though. They love to run the ball. Handoff goes to Chandler Binkley inside the 5, and he's easily in to extend the Tigers' lead. Put a nice big smile on head coach Jeff Boyer's face. Tigers get the ball back, and this time, Braden Smith handed off to Drew Harper, who leaves defenders in the mud for the score. Cheerleaders, they do jumping jacks whenever the team scores, and they were doing a lot of them tonight. So were the coach's sons, making the most of the rainy evening. Kind of a weird play here. Smith drops back, goes to throw it, and the ball slips right out of his hand, picked up by Will Dutch, and he fumbles it. The two tussle for it. Nobody's got it. Finally, Jaden Robinson secures it, just falling on top of it. The damage had already been done. Byron remains unbeaten and blows out North Boone 49-7. How about Braden Smith celebrating a homecoming win on his birthday?
It's your birthday?
It is.
How's it feel to get a win like this on your birthday?
It's great. This is all I cared about today, was winning the football game tonight. You know, it was a big win, especially in the rain. We had to gut it out. Tried to go through the air. It worked a little bit, but the ground game was working. We played deep gray. I mean, after the first possession that they had, we figured it out.
I mean, we're built for weather like this, so when we get this, you know, it's fine for us. But, you know, I thought offensively we controlled the game right from the start.
Let's head on down to Stillman Valley, where the Red Hot Cardinals were going after their fourth straight win, hosting Rockford Christian. Royal Lions got the ball to start the game. Quarterback Keon Leach rolls left, going to keep it himself, cutting back across the field, and then look at this. Just ripped out by Andrew Latham, so Stillman has it with great field position. Cale Rahman's under center for the Cardinals, and as soon as he takes the snap, Camden Roche is in the backfield, going to get the sack. Mike Lawler deciding what to do now at the goal line. Just going to hand it off to the big man, Cullen White. Let him fall forward into the end zone. Don't want those cheerleaders to fall, though, when they're doing the flips. This time, Rahman going to keep it himself around the right side, loses defenders, and races to the pylon for another score. Forget the Cardinals. They're the Stillman Valley Cowboys. They go on to win this one 51-16.
Also in the Big Northern Conference, Dixon took care of Winnebago 54-26, and Genoa Kingston blanked Rock Falls 41-0.
Well, everyone has the DuPac Lena Winslow game in a couple weeks circled on their calendar. That'll be big throughout Northwest Illinois.
Yeah, but tonight DuPac had another game that was big, not just in Northwest Illinois, but in Central Illinois. The Rivermen hosted the #1 ranked Class 2A team in the state, Decatur St. Teresa. St. Teresa was a last-minute fill-in on DuPac's schedule this week. We're going to pick up the action. Rivermen with the ball in the first. Trenton Taylor gets the handoff, and he'll pick up 22 yards there. They'll take that every time. DuPac back to the ground game. Only this time, A.J. Mulcahy. He hits off a defender, uses a stiff arm, and he's tough to bring down. DuPac in the red zone trying some trickery with Trenton Taylor in the shotgun, but that's going nowhere there. Jacarian Jones making the tackle. Hunter Hoffman now faking the handoff, rolls to his right, but he's swallowed up by Justice Chapman and Christopher Harper. DuPac turned the ball over on downs. Second quarter, St. Teresa takes over on offense. Joe Brummer feeds Denham Cook. He's got a big hole and makes like Usain Bolt. Shakes off a man and he is gone. 78 yards to the house. Yeah, this St. Teresa team's pretty good. St. Teresa, though, wins the game. It was an excellent one, as we expected, 28-22.
Also in the NUIC, Lena Winslow wins big over Fulton 54-7. It's Dakota over EPC 16-8. Forreston beats Galena 52-20, and Stockton takes care of East Dubuque 35-20. Some more scores from around the area. Sycamore over LaSalle Peru 23-zip. DeKalb falls to Naperville North 40-21, and Morris all over Marengo 42-0.
In 8-man football, Milledgeville beat Olden Hebron 48-16, and Hiawatha over AFC 56-0. Let's take another break, but don't go anywhere.
Our popular Spotlight segment is next. We'll meet one local athlete who's part football player and part cross-country runner. Our Spotlight segment is all about showcasing the state line's most dynamic and impressive young athletes. This week we head to Freeport and feature Akwin's Ali Arndt. Between football and cross country in the fall, basketball in the winter, and baseball in the spring, Ali Arndt is one of the most internally driven and highly motivated high school athletes you will find. With former athletes for parents and 2 older siblings who also played, Akwin's senior Ali Arndt keeps the family business going as a standout 4-sport athlete for the Bulldogs.
Gets me a little bit motivated for just doing all the stuff and playing all these sports.
This fall has been a busy one for the Akwin wide receiver and cross-country runner.
After school, I have football practice, and then after that, I just go to cross-country practice, and then I go home after that, so I'm definitely tired when I get home, but I manage.
Akwin's head cross-country coach, Jesse Arndt, has a unique insight into Ali, mainly because he's also his father.
He's got that drive in him, but it's all internal, but you'll see it when he gets in the competition. He's really in the groove, and he'll focus and get it done.
Playing 2 sports in the same season isn't unheard of. Typically, athletes will choose one event over the other when conflicts arise. But that's not the case for Ali, who competed in a Saturday morning cross-country meet, and then a few hours later threw the pads on for their game against Milford.
Playing one thing and then going around and playing to another thing, so like going to a cross-country meet, trying to win that, and then go to a football game and to win that. That's what I would say motivates me. It's also that people people doubt like you can do that. Like my friends call me crazy and all that stuff. They just say I'm just insane for just go to football practice, go to cross-country practice, run 3 miles. They say they could never do that. I'm overachieving what I need to get done.
As it stands, Ali is on pace to qualify for state in cross-country. The Akwin Bulldogs also have their eyes set on a run to state as well. For many high school students, getting to that level is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For Arndt, he could possibly do it twice in one season.
That would just be a great story to tell for all my life that like one team in the state gets to go down to state for football for like the senior year. So being able to go down state twice for football and then for cross country in the same year, that would just be a great story to tell, and I just feel accomplished.
Well, the cross-country meet that I was at, Ali took first place, and that one Saturday morning prior when he ran in a race, a couple hours later, he had 9 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 9 tackles in Akwin's game. Again, the same day.
Yeah, that's amazing. And he's going to do that again tomorrow. He has a cross-country race in the morning in Sterling, and then a football game at Akwin at 1 o'clock. So that young man, I think, is burning a few calories.
I don't think he's up watching our show. He's probably asleep.
I don't know. He might be. Hey, let's take one final time out. Here's another overtime flashback.
It was October 19th, 2007, the final night of the regular season. Dakota hosted Forreston in a showdown for the championship of the Northwest Upstate Illini Conference Northwest. Both teams were undefeated. Forreston had a talented team, but not talented enough to match Dakota. The Indians had a power running game that no team in the state could stop. Chad Doffinball, Zach Winger, and Chad Gakey just kept coming at the Cardinals. Doffinball in particular. He rushed for 208 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gakey and company also made some bone-jarring tackles on defense. Dakota won the game 28-11 to clinch the conference championship. That Indian team would go on to win a state championship in Class 2A and finish undefeated at 14-0.
Each week we spotlight a play of the week.
It is the best play caught on our cameras, and Bryce Goodwine, I mean, come on.
No surprise
This is a no-brainer, right? 36 yards out for the game, and he made it easy. Boy, did he make it easy.
This kid is unbelievable.
His third field goal of the night, sending the Titans to the win by a deuce, 16-14. They iced him, Boylan did, called 2 timeouts, and he's still out there. It was like, it was like he was just, walking into his backyard and picking a flower or something.
You can ice him as many times as you want. When you got ice water running through your veins like Bryce Goodwine, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, he's just something else, football and baseball. Hey, be sure to catch Overtime every Friday night, live here at 11 o'clock on Fox 39. We rebroadcast it Sunday mornings at 9.
And for highlights and scores anytime, go to our website, mystateline.com. That's our show.
We'll see you next week.